Mark Sponsler from StormSurf.com, and here's the surf forecast for the Hawaiian Islands for the week starting Friday, July 8th. Brought to you by your surf authority, expert advice, and friendly staff, Hawaiian South Shore. Looking at current conditions from the Barbers Point buoy, current swell right now, 1.1 feet at 16.1 seconds. Surf, 1.8 foot Hawaiian. There are sets at top spots in the almost head-high range on the rarest of the biggest of sets. You can see the energy right here, anywhere from 18 to 15 seconds, something like that. Pretty small size. Calculated wave height, again, about 2 feet. And going down the chart here, you can see the latest readings, all about 1.1 feet, 1.2 feet at about 15 to 16 seconds from about 185 degrees. So, small swell is in the water and providing fun, rideable surf. Go get some. So let's look forward. What's to come? We're going to start at the jet stream level. These winds of about 20,000 feet help support the formation of gales. When they do form, help direct their track. We're looking for a trough, a dip, or a push in the jet to the north, right like there. That helps create a clockwise flow aloft and down at the ocean surface. That's the hallmark of low pressure. And low pressure, when it's deep enough, generates winds. Winds, if they're strong enough and aimed in your direction, generate seas. Seas, as they radiate away from the fetch area, turn into swell. And swell, when it hits your beach, turns into surf. So it looks like there's a little something trying to go on in the South Pacific Ocean as we speak. As we get into Saturday and Sunday, a much better trough, though, is forecast, with winds in the 130 knot range, pushing to the north, merging here with the northern branch of the jet stream. That'll really get things moving in the upper atmosphere and down at the surface. And you can see a pretty well-defined trough forecast into Monday. That would be July 11th. And then pushing east into Tuesday, July 12th, before moving out of the Hawaiian swell window and pretty much fading out. After that, a ridge sets up. That is, winds pushing south in the jet stream. When you get this sort of split pattern like this, you end up with high pressure aloft and down at the ocean surface. And that does nothing for generating meaningful swell. And that takes us pretty much through Saturday, the 16th of July, a week from now. So let's go take a look down at the surface. A surface level winds, surface level pressure. Kind of a mixed pattern right now, some sort of low pressure system in the Tasman Sea, and otherwise mixed low pressure, but no real fetch aimed to the north. But that is quickly to change as we get into Saturday, July 9th. Winds 35 knots, almost 40 knots. This is early in the morning, building to, well, 50 to almost 55 knots, aimed due north, right at Hawaii. Couldn't be in a better position. This is late Saturday, and then even stronger as we get into Sunday, the 10th of July. That is 55 to 60, almost 65 knot winds. That's hurricane force winds over a pretty decent size area, aimed almost due north, right at Hawaii. You know what that's going to mean. And then theoretically in the evening, it pulses yet again, same sort of deal, then starting to fade on Monday, July 11th, and then petering out from there. Needless to say, some significant surf is likely going to be generated. The exact details, still a day or so off, so not getting super excited yet. It's when wind actually starts blowing on the ocean surface and generating seas, that's when we really get interested. But things certainly looking good for the immediate future. And then, what happened over the past week? Well, on Monday, July 4th, a gale pushed under New Zealand, and this is a gale that isn't generating the swell that's hitting Hawaii right now. This is another swell that's behind what's occurring right now. And Monday, 4th of July, we had 36-foot seas right there, the highest seas over the whole domain, and they pushed pretty much off to the east, so it's more like sideband swell. And then on Tuesday, yet another gale pushed under New Zealand with 32 or 33-foot seas, something like that, and then redeveloped into about 33 feet over a pretty decent size area and aimed off well to the northeast, continuing into Thursday, fading from 28 feet and then fading out, and whoops, there we are. And there we are, now things settling down. Let's look forward. All right, so as we get into the evening, things settle down, but we know there's a gale developing. There we go. Saturday night, first wind starts getting traction on the ocean surface, 30-foot seas building quickly as we get into Sunday morning, the 10th of July, with 45-foot seas, and building quickly on Sunday to 46-foot seas, if not maybe a little bit more than that, then fading down from 45, 46 feet the whole way through the day into Monday, July 11th. Still solid. Hawaii at about 155, so way up here off the top of the chart. But let's just go back and look at this again. This is a really good, solid-looking projected storm, maybe the storm of the summer if it materializes, all right in the Hawaiian swell window, aimed pretty well off to the north. The expected result is rather large swell pushing north. You can actually see raw seas pushing into Tahiti on Wednesday, filtering through the islands and heading north from there towards Hawaii and the U.S. West Coast. But after that, things to quiet down a little bit. So for the immediate future, on Saturday, July 9th, background swell continuing, about like today, a little bit smaller, maybe 1.1 feet, 14 to 15 seconds. That'd be 1 to 1.5 foot Hawaiian, 3 foot, top spots, you double that basically. So we'll say waist to chest high, something like that on the bigger sets from 200 degrees. Then Sunday, the first part of the first swell from the first gale under New Zealand builds, small, 1 foot, 19 seconds late. That'd be about 1.5 foot. So a continuation of, let's say waist high type surf sort of thing. But as we get into Monday, the 11th, the first New Zealand swell builds to 1.6 feet at 16 to 17 seconds later in the day. 2.5 foot Hawaiian, that would be head high, maybe a little bit overhead at top spots later in the day. Tuesday, July 12th, the second swell from that second gale that pushed under New Zealand builds to 1.3 feet at 17 seconds later. That's 2 to 2.5 foot Hawaiian. So again, in the head high range. And then on Wednesday, that swell builds more to 1.9 feet at 16 to 17 seconds later. That'd be 3 foot, a foot overhead, and maybe even more at top spots. So for right now, small, fun-sized surf, good for building skill, is occurring and expected to occur for the next day or so. But then slowly as we get into the week, swell starts picking up, more energetic, coming from under New Zealand, pretty good location for Hawaii, building to the head-high range, and then mid to later week, maybe a little bit overhead, and then looking at the models, a far stronger storm is on the chart, and that should produce a lot more than overhead surf. If the models are right, we'll keep watching and we'll update you accordingly. So that's it for this week. We're going to do it again next week, but do all your shopping at Hawaiian South Shore, and we'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much for checking us out. Hope to see you in the shop. Aloha.